You're probably crashing out right now because you got abnormal pap results. You saw something on your chart that said squamous cells and you went on Reddit and you're reading horror stories and you're losing sleep because you feel like you're gonna get a piece of your cervix punched out. But I'm here to tell you everything is gonna be fine. Don't give in to those horror stories because I had the best colposcopy experience, not once, but twice. And I'm gonna have another one in 6 months. If you are a young girl, try not to be promiscuous because I wish that I didn't have too much fun in LA or else we wouldn't be sitting here making this video. But anyway, I am here to reassure you guys that it's gonna be okay because of modern medicine. There are new ways to get biopsies that are not that horrific method that a lot of women talk about. See me looking over here because I have notes, I don't want to miss anything, but long story short, you guys, I got my annual pap, which is very important to get because if I didn't get it, I wouldn't be seeking treatment. It was like any other pap, but I got a call, a ring from my doctor saying that I need to be referred to an OBGYN. I freaked out when I heard this information because it's like, if they're not going to do another pap, what's the next step? And I was told that I would have to get a colposcopy. And if you don't know what a colposcopy is, it's basically where they biopsy your cervix because there are abnormal cells. Because HPV is the #1 most common STD, but 85% of people in the US will get it at some point of their lives. So if for whatever reason you have HPV, let's destigmatize that and take away any shame. You are not any less worthy than you were before having it or whatever situation you're in now. You are perfect just the way you are, and this is just something that happens to a lot of people. So you will get biopsied to make sure you don't have HPV because HPV goes untreated. I believe it can lead to infertility, cervical cancer, and you just want to catch this stuff early on so that you don't have to go down that path. I'll tell you guys right now, the worst part about it, especially if it's your first time, was the anticipation of it all. It wasn't the actual procedure. The actual procedure, literally, I'm not even joking, it's like 15 minutes or less if you have a great doctor. It's so fast. OBGYNs are poppin'. Literally everyone and their mothers go. So I think from the moment I had found out I had to schedule, I had to wait about 3 months or so. I had all that time to ruminate on it and create these scenarios in my mind that may or may not could have happened. So I'm here to tell you right now, it's gonna be fine. But once you find an OBGYN, before you schedule an appointment, get with a nurse, someone at the practice that will answer these questions. What kind of biopsy is it? And from then they'll be able to answer it's either a punched biopsy, a soft biopsy. Find a place that will give you the option to get a soft biopsy. I repeat. And if you can't, if it's a punch biopsy, make sure they have numbing available. If there's no numbing, you have a higher risk of feeling it. Find a provider that will perform a soft biopsy because that biopsy, rather than a punch, it's like this little instrument. It has like these fins. It's able to grab pieces of the site to where it's not like a, what's the word? Such a, they're not punching it. They're not punching it, okay? And that would just ensure that you have a smooth experience for the biopsy part. Actually, basically, it's like a pap, except longer. You know, you're gonna have your legs open, they're gonna put the speculum or whatever. I think this is actually the worst part, to be honest. They're gonna spray a vinegar-like substance, or I think it actually is vinegar, but what this is gonna do, it's gonna highlight the spots of concern so that the OBGYN can like get her, you know, magnifying glass or whatever viewing machine they use to inspect and view the site. From there, they'll take, you know, 1 to 3 or however many biopsies to then test for what grade of, I think it's a squamous or squamous cells. It's like SIN 1, SIN 2, SIN 3, etc. So that's what happens. You're laying there, you know, you're not really doing anything, but you're opened, I guess. You're exposed for a good like 10 minutes. And because they spray the vinegar is what feels uncomfortable because it's almost like a, I don't want to say stinging, but you feel very like acidic down there, you know, like it's uncomfortable. But what helps me is like I play my binaural beats music in the exam room, like playing out loud. If you have a doctor that's cool or a nurse, talk to them. They'll talk to you during the procedure. Anything to get your mind off of like what's happening. Another trick for me, I do this for every type of like medical thing. If I'm afraid like getting blood drawn, I go in there and I never look at the tools that are set out. You look at like all the metal big tools, all that stuff, you're gonna freak yourself out. So go in there, if you see it, look away, just sit, look on your phone and like trust that it's gonna be okay. while I'm getting it done, I have a really cool nurse, a really great OBGYN. We just talked about life, you know, I asked how she is, she just had a baby, talk about your life, talk about your day, anything, you know, probably don't want to talk to your doctor too much because she's doing most of the procedure, but talk to the nurse, talk to your partner or whoever you came at the appointment with. I actually tried to be on my phone and be on Pinterest, but I felt kind of uncomfortable, so it's better to just relax, breathe, even close your eyes. Even if you're someone like me that likes to just distract themselves visually, I looked at the ceiling and they had like design from the 70s like floral tile thing, and I started counting all the leaves and all the tiles in the ceiling, and before you know it, you guys, you're done and you can just close your legs and you can be done with it. You know, I have unfortunately experienced like SA and I have like trauma sexually in the past, so this past time I did it not too long ago, I did cry after, even though like the second time around was a lot better than the first time, like mentally. I sat through that whole procedure, really wasn't bad at all. I still cried at the end because it's just overwhelming, you know? So don't feel shame if you have to cry at the end or if you cried during the procedure, because the doctors are used to it. You know, unfortunately, a lot of women experience like sexual trauma, and whenever you have like situations like this where you kind of have to be forced to open your legs and expose yourself in front of people you barely know, it's like it kind of triggers those emotions, for me at least. So if you feel that, it's okay, and just be proud for yourself for taking the step to better your health. This is really not something you really need to lose sleep over, because it's really not that bad, y'all. I promise you. Think of this video if you feel nervous about it, embrace those feelings, and just inhale, breathe out, and let it go, because it's gonna be fine. If for whatever reason, you know, you're still super anxious about it, I talked to my doctor about how anxious I was, and she did prescribe me a Xanax. I took, I think, half of the Xanax for my first one. Not gonna lie, I feel like I didn't even feel a Xanax kick in, but that typically is an option if you want some sort of anti-anxiety medication that's available typically, but you really don't need it because it's not that bad. However, if you think that's gonna help you, do what you gotta do. But I think what's even more important, after you get the colposcopy, y'all, they'll determine what grade your cells are. So if it's SIN 1 and SIN 2, that typically means that they could do another colposcopy in another 6 months or so, and your body typically can clear out this type of virus on its own. There are factors dependent on that. If it's SIN 3, then at that point you would have to consider getting the LEAP procedure. I had gotten my results back from my second colposcopy, and great fucking news. I went from having a higher risk, I believe it was in between SIN 2, SIN 3, and now I have SIN 1. So my body naturally was able to get rid of a lot of the virus, and we're headed towards the right direction. Now I do feel I did a lot of things to help this. For example, intermittent fasting, lowering my refined sugar and refined carb intake, moving my body more, getting more sleep, de-stressing, and lowering my cortisol levels. I would say those 5 things are the things that really helped me improve my health overall, and I feel like contributed a lot to why I won't be getting the leak procedure, thank God, which is why I'm going to continue doing such. So in the next 6 months or so, I will be at an even better place. So if you have a higher grade, know that it is possible to reverse it by just being healthier. There's supplements you can take. However, I feel like doing those basic things will do wonders for you. I'll insert the supplements in the description below. I take just like a probiotic, but more for vaginal health, and I used to take this like mushroom extract thing, but I just stopped taking it because I wasn't as consistent, but that is also proven to help too. It's like active dextrose or whatever. If you're in the DFW area and you have Blue Cross Blue Shield, I go to Vernon and Waldrep Associates. My sisters and my mom and I all go there. We all have different OBGYNs at that practice, and we love every single one of them, and they do the soft biopsy. So I will put their information down below. They don't even know that I'm making this video, but seriously, go to them because we've had nothing but great experiences. And despite this being somewhat, I wouldn't say traumatic, but not the most pleasant experience, they made it the best, and the nurses and the staff are awesome. So if you're going through this journey, know you're not alone, and everything's going to be okay as long as you take the precautions to do better and try to be at least 1% healthier today and tomorrow. Baby steps, do what you can do, and I love y'all. Bye.